How is everybody doing? Positive and productive. I hope. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me. Hey, do me a favor. Share the content with friends, family, anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it? Ladies and gentlemen, quick reminder before we jump into this, if you are on YouTube and you're listening to this podcast, do me and yourself a favor and drop a purple heart in the comment section. It really does a lot for YouTube and the algorithm. Let's jump in. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is part one. So there's a lot I want to say about this. I want to play the video. We want to watch it. I haven't even watched the whole thing. I only watched a segment of it, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So, what happens here is a woman is working as a barista at a beverage place, which has a drive-through. A potential customer comes in. He pays. He orders a drink. Or comes through the drive-through. He orders a drink, and he tries to pull her through the drive-through door, through the drive-through window. So it sounds crazy, but we actually have the video. So there's a few things so let's play it. But before we begin, now, the officers even ask her, hey, do you know this guy? Have you ever seen him? She says no. I'm gonna take it at face value. And I know a lot of times as just in today's society, Amber Heard, a few different things like that. I understand it, but at the end of the day, I'm going to take it at face value for what we're seeing here. And I just want to see for what it is. I'm going to make my assessment, and then because I guess there's maybe a part 2 coming up. I don't know. I'll do a little bit more on this, but I do want to make an assessment, and let's watch what we got. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into this.
Window tried to pull me out of the window, and I grabbed this, held on, and started screaming, and then I ripped my entire up, and I shut the window out and called the cops. Yes, he grabbed me by this arm and
Okay. Do you know him?
No, he paid with credit card. He was a customer.
Okay. Does his card have a name on it or anything?
Right here, Ezekiel O'Gara. I don't know if it's a stolen credit card. He was in a...
Watch the timing. Silence, receipt signed, drink delivered, then the grab. No confusion, no stumble, just a clean, deliberate reach for a body. That's not an accident. That's intent wearing panic when it fails.
In a Scion TC, right?
Yes, Scion TC. It was like that space gray, like not dimensional color or metallic. Whatever. I couldn't get the license plate because I was too busy getting up.
Did you see which way he went?
That way, and then I went to call the cops.
Okay. Have you ever seen this guy before?
No, I've never seen him before. Never, ever.
Okay.
Ever. First time.
Okay, so I know you described him to the dispatch on the phone, but what did he look like?
He was like a barely f***ing Hispanic, super f***ing white guy with a blue bandana on his head and a blue, like, bright f***ing blue Dodgers jersey. I was joking. I was like, what, your favorite color's f***ing blue? Like, and, like, patterned fake f***ing Louis Vuitton jeans. Like, blue jeans with the fake f***ing designer shit all over them.
Anybody else in the car with him?
No, he was by himself.
Okay. Okay. Did he mention anything? Like, how long was he here?
He was here for, like, I was making his f***ing drink for probably, like, 2 or 3 or 4 f***ing minutes, whatever, chatting with him like any normal f***ing customer, what are you up to?
Anything else in the conversation that was
I
noteworthy?
said, probably when I was going, I was like, are you up right now? Because bro was fucking acting stupid. He says, yeah, kind of. And then bro tries to pull me out of the window.
Okay. Alright. I see red marks on your wrist there.
All of my arm.
Okay.
All of my arm. In my fucking armpit.
Jesus.
Bro tried to pull me out of the window.
Alright. Let me get my camera. We'll get pictures of your red marks and stuff. We'll keep looking for them here. I assume, like, your arm was just getting, like, yanked against the...
Right here. I grabbed this fucking window whenever I go to fucking lean out this window, because you got me up. You got me so up. When are these retards gonna figure out the center of gravity? Holy fuck. They fucking stupid.
Hey,
And pay with a fucking credit card and not even cash? No, my boss probably does not give a single fuck, honestly. I can ask.
Yeah.
I knew it happened at 2:20.
Yeah.
And all my cameras are working right now, and they were working, so I don't know. I can fucking ask.
Okay.
So I got fucking almost snatched out the window.
Alright. So if we can find him, then we'll come back. We'll get you. We'll
Execute him on the spot, please. Window.
So we saw that, ladies and gentlemen. And so what's my assessment, right? So I'm going to make two general assessments, right? I'm going to make two general assessments. The first assessment coming at face value, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your daughter working at night, we need to be more diligent. Luckily enough, she was smart enough to understand to protect herself, to grab onto something, to do certain things. Glad he didn't have people to help him to jump out the vehicle, different things of that nature. And I don't know how long it took the officers to get there, but good thing nobody was hurt in this situation. So at face value, we have to protect our women. We got to make sure that we're checking on them. We're doing certain procedures and protocols, just because it's a lot more dangerous than what it used to be. For a variety of reasons, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to attribute it to one or two, but for a variety of reasons. The second thing I'm going to say is that let's just say this was some type of a lover's quarrel, or she was just a disrespectful girl who was talking smack and offended him and disrespected him. So we can go now two ways. Let's say this was a lover's quarrel, or you're just a guy and, maybe you try to hit on her, maybe you don't, but for whatever reason, she gets disrespectful. So then I want to now share to our sons and teach our sons that even in the case of this is a relationship and she cheats on you, she lies to you and tell you the baby isn't yours, etc., there's no reason to lash out and do some of these, what I call crazy man things, especially on camera, ladies and gentlemen, because now you're dead to right. Now you're dead to right because it looks like, you tried to kidnap her. That's what it looks like, or an assault of some sort. And now we can only speculate. See, because that's the worst thing you would really want to have happen, right? Is that a situation happens, it looks egregious at surface level, it is egregious, but now we're only speculating what you were going to do. When in all actuality, maybe you were just going to holler at her and tell her you loved her. I don't know, but when we start acting in irrational things, it's hard for people to deduce or reduce that you would act in a rational manner, because it's not rational to try to snatch someone through a drive-through window. That's not a rational action. So now I could only assume that every action after that would be an irrational action on your behalf or your response. So again, as our sons, if you're getting yourself caught up, whether it's just a disrespectful woman, let's refrain from putting our hands on them. If you're in a lover's quarrel situation, again, refrain from putting your hands on them. The best thing you could do in today's society is just to walk away. And we'll talk about that on a whole different situation. But just realistically, listen, ladies and gentlemen, as a man, if a woman does something to you that you deem disrespectful, your best thing is not to put your hands on her, because you already have won that. You're already physically, in general, in most cases, stronger than her. So the best thing you could do as a man is to hit her where it hurts. And I'll give you guys a little word of advice, and I'll just be for real. I'm not being facetious. I'm going to be serious here. The best thing you can do if you really want to hurt a woman is you go get with another woman who is ugly. No. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not joking. I'm not trolling. Listen, I'm going to tell you how you really can. If a woman hurts you or you feel disrespected, you don't go get with a pretty woman or a woman that she feels is out of her league. Yeah, that's surface level. If you really want to hurt her, you go get with an ugly woman, a fat woman, a woman that she knows, that she feels in her whole core and being of existence that she is better than. You see? So now you get with a woman that she knows to her core essence that she is better than. And if you were a good man, worth your weight in a little bit of salt, right? She knows that now you're going to treat an undesirable or undeserving woman how good you're going to treat that woman. And now that's going to hurt her more than you getting a better woman or anything of that. You have to play women on emotions. You don't play with them on physicality. That's not how you do it. And I don't even do that because that's just that toxic level of stuff that we all used to do when we were younger. I don't condone doing it, but I am saying if you were going to do it, hypothetically, you don't assault a woman. You don't use physical prowess to domineer a woman. You really do it based on her emotions. Or you go get with her sister or something like that, right? You get her sister pregnant. I'm just saying, see, you guys don't know how to play the game because, okay, never mind. So we'll get off that. But I'm just telling you guys, tell your sons, don't put their hands on women. There's different ways to get back at women if that's what you chose to do. And then also, even if it's not in a relationship setting, it's just a disrespectful woman, well, there's not really a lot of recourse that you can actually do in these situations. And nobody likes to be called a Karen or become an internet meme and or sensation. So I would just say, honestly, gentlemen, the best thing you could really do is pull out your phone and just start recording it and let the internet do its job. She'll live down in infamy forever. Nobody wants to be a Karen. And that's really where you can get white women at their core. They don't want to be called a Karen. It's like the C word from the 80s. Like back in the day, if you called a white woman the C word, that was worse than calling them a B. Like you called them the C word, it was like no holds barred. So, and now with these zennials and these younger millennials and different things like that, you call them a Karen, they freak out. They don't want to be a Karen. So again, and then also for our daughters, going back again to our daughters, listen, if your daughter is one of these loud, disrespectful type of people, there's nothing I could even tell you or say to her. You know what I mean? Just like those type of people in society, the pajama wearers in public and, those type of people, it's really nothing we could say. You know what I mean? Like we already know because those people are operating from a deficiency and a deficit already. So making prescriptors for them is just asinine. Jesus said, don't waste your pearls among swine, for they'll surely trample them beneath their feet. So for those people and the people who raised their children and allowed their children to be that way, all I could say is your day is coming. You guys really won't have too much of a place in society moving forward, but that's neither here nor there, but it is somewhere. Hopefully you guys are subscribed because Rumble and X is mainly where I'm at. But anyway, to our daughters who are working, make sure we have actual plans for them as far as checking in, making sure the cameras work if they have to do like a overnight or a graveyard shift by themselves, making sure they know certain protocols, certain things like this lady where, maybe you don't open up the drive-through window all the way, or maybe possibly, you don't reach your arm all the way out. You know what I mean? If they're too far, set it on the window or something of that nature, but don't put yourself all the way in a precarious situation. And then we always have to check on them, especially our young girls working various hours, especially overnight by themselves. The world is just, it's a crazy place. In some aspects, crime is going down, but in some aspects, in some areas, crime is up. So, it's not a blanket statement everywhere. We're not going to say everywhere crime is down, and we're not going to say everywhere crime is up. But what we are going to say is that everywhere you are, keep your head on the swivel and make sure you're training your sons and your daughters to be positive, productive people in society. As always, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive, please stay productive. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it?